Hey everybody, it's me Samantha here today with another video. Today I thought maybe I could show you guys kind of how I do my makeup on a regular everyday basis. I think it's a little bit, I would call it kind of soft glam because I work in an office. I need to look presentable with professionals, and so I kind of, when I do wear makeup, try to step it up a little bit for meetings and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in kind of seeing like an everyday makeup routine that's a little bit soft glam in the eyes, then continue watching. We're gonna jump right in. I'm gonna use pretty much one of my favorite primers. This is the TouchInSol Glassy, I think it's called Pretty Filter Glassy Primer. I love this because I do have very oily skin, and it being warmer weather right now, I want to skip out on using too many hydrating ingredients. Anyways, long story short, I will use this in place of a moisturizer. I'll go from toner to serum, put this on, toner, serum, sunscreen, and then this, and then go into my makeup. I feel like it just skips one extra step for myself. So this is what it looks like. It's creamy, but it's not crazy thick, but it's not runny at all. It has a very light scent, but I wouldn't call it really like fragranced. It's not gonna do any like, I don't find it to do any like pore filling or anything like that, but I just feel like makeup really lays nicely on top of this and lasts a lot longer. I don't get that, like, you know, primer is just the glue that holds it all together. I don't get that like flaky or like the breaking up situation with my foundation that you sometimes get when you don't use a primer. So also in the morning, sometimes I'm trying to move really quickly with the kids, and I don't always have time to go and soak a sponge. So when I don't use a sponge, I use this Sonia Kashuk foundation brush, flat kabuki. It's about $10 at Target. I think it's a really great brush, and for $10 you cannot go wrong. If you are not comfortable using a sponge, or you're like me, it's another walk to the bathroom to soak it and to come back to do your face, and you just want to skip that step, then I would highly recommend this brush. So I'm going to use my current favorite, the Milani Screen Queen, and I use it in the shade Warm Almond. And I kind of still do my normal situation where I pump the foundation on the back of my hand, and then with my finger I spread it, and then whatever is kind of left on my hand, I will take the brush and soak it up. And I always just do a very thin layer of foundation on my forehead, just so that everything kind of looks blended. But my forehead is a little bit darker than the rest of my face, and I feel like when I put too much foundation and it creeps all the way up, this area will tend to look a little like ashy or just off. So mostly stick to foundation on my face. It looks less like a mask and more like your natural skin. And when I'm going to work, even though I'm trying to look nice, I don't want to look overly made up. It's not date night. I'm there for work purposes. So I love this foundation because it really does cover a lot of my imperfections without looking unnatural, and some of my imperfections do poke through in a very natural way where it just looks like my skin but a little bit better. And I couldn't really decide what concealer I want to use. I was going to use my Uoma Beauty, but I have Brown Sugar T2 and Bronze Venus T2, and I think I'm going to put a smidge of this because I feel like it does a little bit of like color correcting. And then I'm going to go in with this as my main concealer. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because it's slightly orange. Like I'm just putting the tiniest bit under my eyes there. And I'm going to go in with my finger. And I know you're supposed to use your ring finger. I always use my middle finger, and I'm not flipping you off, I promise. I don't know if you guys can see that. It really does kind of work like a color corrector for me because it's like exactly my skin tone but just a little bit warmer, so it kind of disguises that purple underneath. I need a little bit more right here, but it works really well. So we're gonna use that. And then I'm going to go in now with the Bronze Venus as my regular concealer. This stuff is really thick, so a little bit goes a long way. And if you're wearing like everyday makeup, you really don't want to have like an overly done face anyway, I feel like, because I don't know, I don't want it to like melt off. It is hot summer days, but I also just, I don't know. And I'm trying to find a concealer brush. There we go. I'm going to use this e.l.f. concealer brush because I don't have my sponge. Sometimes I go, most of the time I go in with my finger, but I don't want to disrupt too much the first concealer that I put down. But like I said, when you're going to work and it's every day, I kind of just want to keep it easy and quick and lightweight. I'm not trying to be overly glam. I don't try to do any kind of thick layers. Typically though, that's not my style, but I mean, like sometimes when you go out, you want to look kind of perfected. You tend to go a little bit heavier. Just gonna have another sip of this coffee. It is literally like 7:30 at night and I'm having a cup of coffee because there's no way I'm going to stay up and like watch TV and spend time with my husband once my kids go to bed. So call me crazy. As a quick thing, I love the Huda Beauty Blondie setting powder. That's probably my favorite powder, but on an everyday basis I don't use that powder because it is a loose powder. You know, I don't want to like, my kids, honestly, my kids will literally crowd around me when I'm doing makeup and it's just like chaos. And so I don't want to make a mess. So typically my next favorite thing is this Jouer Hydrate Set Powder. And I have the shade Tan. I also have the shade Medium for when I'm a little bit lighter. And I'm going to use this pointed e.l.f. powder brush and pick that up. And I don't set my whole face, just to, I don't mind myself looking a little hydrated, but also it takes more time. I'm trying to be quick about it in the morning. Alright, so this is what my skin looks like right now. And I think it looks really good. I think it looks really natural. And this, I think, is like even good for like no makeup days. Like you just draw your brows and put some mascara and gloss and call it a day. And what I'm going to do is really not that different from where we are right now. So the next thing is bronzer. I could use a powder bronzer, but most days I do like to use cream. And I've been dipping into this Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Light, and I really enjoy it. I'm going to go in with a Crayon brush that I received in BoxyCharm a while back and just tap it. It's nice and dense, and go right in. And I always make the mistake of going a little heavy with bronzer, but you know, no one's perfect. And I like cream product because I feel like it's really, I know some people are scared of it because they feel like, you know, it's going to disrupt things. But for me, I feel like cream product is the most forgiving, because if you do get sweaty during the day, it's not like the powder is going to break up and separate. With cream, it just gets a little moist and you can kind of just pat it and, you know, move it around back to where it was, or, you know, place it where you want. So it's more forgiving. And when it fades a little bit more naturally as well. And I really am enjoying this bronzer. I like it a little bit more than the Fenty one. I do like the Fenty one as well, but for like a regular everyday, no, because it's a little bit glowy. A little too glowy for like work. It's nice for the weekend, but I couldn't, not that I can't wear it for work, but I work in an office and I just feel like I don't want to look too glowy when I'm indoors all day. I feel like that glossy, balmy look is good for like going out, being in the beach, or just being out and about. I don't want to waste it for being in the office. So this is a really nice kind of like matte formula. There's no sheen to it and it goes on very, very easily. And then for blush, I'm going to use one of my Nudestix. These are pretty much my go-to, and this is probably my second favorite shade. I would say my favorite shade is probably in the nude, but this is Beach Babe, and I believe this is a newer one that came out in the spring, and I really like it. And I kind of, sometimes I go in, but see, I don't feel like I get that full pigmentation, so I'm gonna use this Fenty brush. This is it's the face brush, and it's kind of slanted. I think a lot of people use this for like foundation or for bronzers, but we're gonna go in with the blush. And then I'll take this bronzer and kind of blend the two together. A little bit on the bridge of my nose. And I think this is like a really gorgeous everyday. And the Nudestix have two different formulas. They have a more glowy one, but this one's more of their matte formula. So it's good for if you have oily skin. You're not gonna look overly glowy. For a highlight, I want to use something kind of subtle, and I'm going to go in with this Nude's glow stick in the shade Bubbly Bebe. I believe this was a collaboration, and I just take it on the finger and put it on the high point. So I'm trying to do this as quick as possible because honestly, this is how I would be doing my makeup every day. I'm not sitting at my desk combing through product. I'm going to use the things that speak to me right away, that I'm familiar with, that I'm comfortable with. And the weekends are for when I'm playing around with stuff that's new. So right now, this is where we're at with all of the complexion products. The next thing I'm going to go in with is going to be my eyebrows. And this has kind of been a favorite, my Maybelline Brow Extension Crayon in the shade Dark Brown. And really quick, I love this stuff because it is so fast. And I'm going to show you guys. We're going to go right in. I don't know if you guys can hear my Chloe. She's snoring. And I don't have the chutzpah to like kick her out because she's been so sick and she's feeling a lot better. And I don't know if you've been watching me for a while. My dog Chloe, who's 10 years old, was recently diagnosed with diabetes, and we've been giving her insulin twice a day, and she's making a lot of improvement. and I don't want to I don't want to tell her she has to go. So she's just going to stay in here and snore. And if it's annoying you, I'm really, really sorry, but that's my babe. So she's going to stay in here. Alright. I love this because it's super quick. And like I said, when I am doing my makeup, I have no time to fool around. Because even though right now the kids aren't going to school and there's no lunch boxes and homework and all that, you know, to get ready, I just get a crowd of them in my room because they're all very curious. My two girls just want to watch me get ready every day, and my son, you know, he's left out, so he just comes in because he doesn't want to be left out. He likes to reorganize my drawers while I'm doing my makeup because, I don't know, it keeps him entertained. He's like, this should go here, that should go there. I spend most of my afternoons putting everything right back where I want it because he's moved it all around. So I love this product because it has like a built-in wax situation, and it has the pigment. It adds in the fibers. I mean, it pretty much does everything I want it to do. There's no reason not to love it. So this is the majority of the face. Sometimes I put mascara and walk out of the house like this, but we're going to do eyes today, and I took out my Nabla Cutie palette in the shade Nude. We have a pinky nude here called Latex Nude. We have a pink shimmer called Seducer. We have Moonlight, which is a light champagne color. We have No Doubt, which is a beautiful chocolate. Then we have Glorious, which is a shimmering gold. And then Plastic with a K, and that is a black with a little bit of a glitter in it, but not very much. So these are very, very creamy to the point that I would kind of consider them like a cream shadow. So I'm going to treat them as such, and I'm going to use a more thick, dense brush. It's Sonia Kashuk, and this came in like a 3-piece set at Target. And I'm going to go in with Latex Nude. And I kind of have very hooded eyes, and so, and at the same time I have a lot of brow space. So sometimes for me the crease is above the crease, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to go in kind of above the crease on my eye with this shade. And that was an awkward way for me to hold my brush, but it's a very thick shadow, but it goes on really nice if you have the right tools. So that is very important. I think when doing your makeup, you can have the best eyeshadow palettes, you can have the best foundation, but it's all in the tools that you apply it with too that really sets the tone. And there's that nude shade. I don't know if you can really see it on me, but it has kind of like a pink tint to it. And I'm just going to do the other side. And this eye, you know, I'm in my mid to late 30s. So this eye here has a little bit of more give in the skin, so I always have to make sure that my shadow doesn't skip in that area. This is a Luxie mini tapered 121, and you can see that chocolate. And it's very beautiful and subtle. I really need to get in the habit of turning off my ringer on my phone, or like the notifications. I feel like every video you guys are going to hear my phone ding, but I just never remember. And whatever, I'm a real person. Sometimes I get text messages. Alright, so that's it for the brown. This is going to be, again, a very soft look because we're just going to work, or we're just running, you know, trying to look a little bit more presentable. I'm going to go in with this pink shade, Seducer, and put that all over my lid. And it kind of blends in with everything. So again, nothing too dramatic. I think this looks very like, you know, everyday work appropriate, but says, you know, hey, I put effort. I was thinking about my day. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of Glorious right in the middle. Give it a little brighter effect. And then this is where it gets a little bit more detailed. I'm going to use the other end of my spoolie here. This is a Lavish brush. I think I got this in a BoxyCharm thing, but it has like a very nice little brow pencil situation here. And I'm going to go in with the black and kind of just create a very thin smudged out look on the outer part of the eye. And you can see it's very pigmented. I just did a little tap. And it's just going to create enough dimension. So there's that. I'm going to take a nice little bullet brush from Nude. I don't know if they call this a bullet brush or it's called a detail brush, but it's very rounded at the top. And I'm going to go into Moonlight, and I'm just going to put an inner corner and kind of bring that up, because I do kind of have like that weird fold there. So I don't have like a true inner corner. We're going to go in with some mascara. I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lash Brag. And I love this mascara because I feel like it kind of makes a statement, but it's not so over the top that, like, I love the Pat McGrath Dark Star, but I feel like if I wear that to work or during the day, it's just a little too glam. Where this is like, I look really nice today and probably nicer than usual, but I still, like, I'm not going out for drinks after work. I don't have a date. I'm not doing anything over the top. Alright, and then for my lips, I typically don't wear too much lipstick. Once in a while when I'm in the mood I do, but just for on the go, I'm going to go in with my Fenty Gloss Bomb, and this is in the shade Fussy. This is the only gloss bomb that I have. And I think for a look like this, you can put on a gloss and it looks very daytime appropriate, work appropriate every day. But with a look like this, I could easily put on a more dramatic lip and go out to dinner after work, or, you know, look cute for my husband. So this here is my kind of everyday work makeup, soft glam. You know, like I said, you could just easily change up the lipstick. and get it to look a little bit more evening. It's a very, very simple eye look. And yeah, this is it. If you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, come back and visit me for some more videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and till next time, bye.